Welcome everyone to another Hearts of Iron 4 mod spotlight. This time we will be looking at the Meaningful series of mods. Meaningful Supply, Weather, Terrain, and Combat. They've just released, or rather the developer, I believe it's only one guy. So, good job one guy. He's just released the last edition, which is the Meaningful Combat. And those are 4 separate mods, but they can be used together pretty easily. You can just subscribe to all of them. And then put them all on because they're all obviously same thing. And in general, they just add a lot of common sense into the game, which is, well, something that's really easy to do. It's compatible with a lot of mods out there, and so it's pretty great overall. Obviously, combat, terrain, supply, and weather, they pretty much explain themselves. Now, supply basically means that certain types of terrain, infrastructure, and weather reduce your supply output by quite a lot. Let's actually just get the game going. I'm playing as Italy in the Ethiopia scenario to actually showcase some of this, because now Mans have a much worse modifier towards attack, as you can see over there. It's much harder to attack into Mans. There is a much harder attrition modifier into certain areas. Now, I don't have Together for Victory, so I don't have the ability to show you the losses from attrition, but there's a ton of attrition in mountains and deserts, and also in winter in some areas because of the meaningful weather, and also the aircraft. Yeah, the aircraft is also aircraft gameplay is also much different because of the terrain and weather modifiers. Now, in Ethiopia, I don't think there is really any way to. Yeah, no, I don't think there's really any modifiers to that because of the terrain or the weather, but if you're fighting in places that have frost and snows and rains, then you're going to have a much higher attrition rate on your aircraft because of it, although they decrease the air accident rate, the normal air accident rate, by quite a lot. So in general, what this mod does is it makes you forced to be a little bit more careful about what you do with your troops, especially when it regards to mountains, deserts, jungles too, I believe. Let's go check out a jungle. Maybe there's jungles here. Yeah. No, forest? Really? How come that's not a jungle? That's ridiculous. Paradox, fix that shit. Yeah, jungle. Jungle, yeah, that's also pretty bad. 120 division attrition. And way less air support. Also, obviously, a lot of rain, which decreases a ton of things. And a lot of movement cost increase across the board, so you don't have people just driving about and doing that kind of stuff. Checking out the supply, as you can see, there's quite a bit coming in, but one problem is also the fact that right now, as you can see, it's kind of split control, so it's not really working as properly as it should be. When infrastructure is damaged, there is a much higher reduction towards supply efficiency in an area. And in general, it just makes the game a little bit more realistic. As you can see, I am taking huge amounts of losses on my troops, which normally I would not be doing, or would not be getting, despite the fact that I'm using the AI. I'm not even using them at full aggressiveness. So one thing that you need to do when you're playing this mod is actually check what your AI is doing and the settings it is on, because if you have it at too aggressive, then they're gonna really kill your guys in certain areas of the world, which is not exactly what you want to do. And yeah, I'm taking quite a bit of losses. Not really quite sure what a historical loss rate for this Ethiopia campaign would be, but I'm sure it's a little bit closer to what we're getting right now than what we would be getting normally in the game. So to go a little bit more into depth, supplies in general just are a little bit harder to come by. They have reduced the value of supply available from victory points. So for example, Addis Ababa over here, normally if you have a division there surrounded, it would get supplies just simply from having a city in it. That's gotten reduced a little bit, so you need to be a little more careful than that. City sniping with certain units and then holding it will be a little bit harder. And also, the supply from damaged infrastructure, as I said, has been reduced a little bit. Now, I haven't gotten any damage here, so I can't show you, but yeah. Also, I believe... No, doesn't look like terrain has any effect on supplies. Also, obviously, because of the fact that supply lines and infrastructure getting destroyed reduces your supply, that means that partisans are a little bit more important in the game, which is nice. Then weather, obviously just a lot more effects from weather, which normally wouldn't. And that obviously affects air forces, it affects navies, it affects even ground troops when the weather is harsh enough. So in general, pretty bad if you do offensives in bad weather, just like in real life. Terrain, you've already seen the basic changes for that, and that also kind of compounds the danger of going into an area that's kind of rough. Because if you're going to be going into an area that's kind of rough, you're going to be taking huge losses. So you need to be prepared for that. And that's good. So it also kind of changes your playstyle as well. And then in combat, I'm not really quite sure. The description of the mod says that the combat is slower, which is, I guess, fine. Also, the combat mod does decrease the loss rate for some planes, and also for naval combat, the destroyers are a little bit more tanky. I'm not quite sure on that. The destroyers being harder to destroy, does make sense in some ways, but at the same time, I think someone could like exploit it and just spam out a bunch of destroyers. I don't know. I'm really not sure on that, but oh well. So I want to thank you all for watching. The links to the mod will be in the description, as always. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.